happy moment to you. So today's example of how the other side of the veil is interacting with us all the time, every minute, all the things, comes from another two-legged. Remember, two-leggeds, therapy clients, four-leggeds, walking dogs. But this particular two-legged was talking last night about something she said. She started off by saying, this thing just keeps coming back to my mind. She said years ago, she was driving down a street and there was a horrific wreck that kind of happened in front of her. A guy was ejected from the car, hit his head, had a bleeding, and she tried to do CPR, and they called, the ambulances, and he ended up dying. And this was years ago, like 10 years ago. She was in her early 20s then. She's in her early 30s now. And she said, it's always kind of stayed with me. And you think the automatic kind of, well, it was a traumatic event. Of course, it stayed with you. But the key, if I've mastered one thing as a therapist, is never say my first thought out loud. So just, sort of just let it flow and see what happens, as it goes. So my second most favorite thing to do as a therapist is to say, well, what is your best guess as to why that is? So really, if you just have a friend that's willing to go to lunch with you and, say, well, what is your best guess about that? You could save some therapy money. But, so she said again that it had happened that morning. She was cooking breakfast and just role played in her head again, and she was kind of concerned about it. So we sat and breathed and thought for a minute, and then I said, what is your best guess? Why do you think you might have that playing over again? And she said, well, I've always wanted to be a nurse. And when I was growing up, everybody in my family just, nobody thought I could be a nurse. Nobody thought I was that smart, or I didn't really have the means to go to college. Yeah, but I always wanted to be a nurse. I still want to be a nurse. So now she has a great job. She has a sweet husband. She could start kind of going and doing night classes. So we talked about that and the concept of just starting with a few classes that she would need. And she was like, I could do that, actually. I could actually do that. So this is kind of a lot of different layers to this, right? The repetition, it kept coming back. It didn't go away. I mean, years later, it's coming back again and again. So that's easy. Spirit's throwing that memory back in our mind. And then, talking about it, that ability that we just sort of say something random to someone, we're throwing it out there, and the idea that we're interacting together with other people, we can help each other, speak to each other if we're conscious about spirit. That's one thing I love about this idea about having a community of It Is Just Tuesday, is to talk to each other, right? Don't let the vacuum of just me, and that's another way of helping me get into action, right? Is when I speak, and then you know about it, and I know about it, and you're encouraging, and I'm encouraging, and we're moving each other through that encouragement. So anyway, I love that. If it's happening again and again, repetitive, right? It's not random, It's spirit telling us something. And if we stop and breathe, talk about it, nobody has to tell us what it means, but speak it out loud, ponder it, guess, we're going to know. We're going to have a feeling. Oh, that's why I'm thinking of this. And then when we say that out loud, it's like, that's it. So we're paying attention together. Love you.